You should not listen to this with small children around. It may lead to trauma, and I cannot be held responsible for any therapy that may be needed. Listening discretion is advised.
From day one, you fought for your life, and you blew everyone away.
Hi.
Hi, welcome back.
We are.
Changing the chances. You totally,
Blindsided you there?
yeah, you threw it off. I'm Jesse,
Gotta keep it fresh. I'm Alisha.
and we are changing the chances.
Yes, we are.
So today, we're wrapping up July.
I mean, technically, by the time you hear this, July will be over with.
Yeah, it's true.
This is how
But-
awesome our timing
Yeah,
is.
we're awesome like that.
We really are.
But we're wrapping up July, and that being said, July, I found out, Alicia already knew this apparently, but I'm finding out, July is Disability Pride Month and ADA Month. So yeah.
Well, so Pride, they started Pride Month to commemorate when they made the ADA Act, or
Back in 1990.
yes, the American with Disabilities Act.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 1990. So that is how Pride Month, Disability Pride Month.
I'm like, don't get the two confused.
Sorry, Disability Pride Month came to be.
I'm like, you got to put the disability in front of that, because if not, it's a different kind of pride.
It is. It is a whole different kind of pride. That's interesting.
Well,
now that you say that out loud, it's Disability Pride Month, but then there's just Pride Month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to make sure you distinguish it, because there's.
Well,
so,
obviously.
Well, yeah, but then there's just so much nowadays.
That is true. There is a lot
that you have to account for. So yes, we got to make sure we put disability.
Well, of course, but I'm just saying that just Pride is its own thing. But this is Disability Pride. I don't know. Anyways,
different month.
It got changed to LGBT Pride Month.
LGBT Pride Month.
It's not LGBTQ plus.
This is June is LGBT Pride Month Youth Gov. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So maybe just to distinguish it a little bit more. Who knows? But
Well, I'm not here to talk about that one.
yeah, we're here to talk about
It is important, but that is not what we're talking
Disability
about.
Pride Month.
Yes, exactly. And as we said, it's to commemorate ADA, America with Disabilities Act in 1990. Yay! Which, really just means they were trying to make the playing ground equal for everybody. Didn't matter if you were disabled or not. Couldn't be discriminated on it.
You're not supposed to.
Well, yeah, but that's like anything.
You shouldn't
discriminate for lots of reasons,
Yeah.
but people still do it.
It's true.
As long as it's not outwardly something you can actually say you discriminated for these reasons, then I almost feel like sidestepping just a little bit.
Sidebar.
Sidebar. When you were looking for a job, they basically discriminated against you because of Piper, which
one of them, they did, and it was
openly, it was weird.
It was, because after the interview, I talked to the guy on the phone, and it was a thing that, because I was honest about it, hey, I have a daughter with disabilities. This is, my life, whatever, how it is. And he pretty much told me, you're the number one candidate. The only thing that makes me hesitant to pull the trigger is your possible availability and issues with your daughter. And it was just well, I got a family to take care of.
I kind of feel like that's a lawsuit. I mean, we're not those kind of people.
No,
I'm just,
I just was
but to openly admit, basically, I'm not hiring you because of this issue. And and we got it. We understand in a sense.
But it's I told the guy, I'm I still got to eat, dude. I still got to take care of my family.
I'm
and
not
it's I
missing
told him,
weekend.
and that's what I told him. I was I don't miss a ton of work.
Yeah, you really don't.
I'm just letting you know, she has all of these issues.
Yeah. Shit happens.
These are possibilities that I have to worry about that most people don't. So I'm just giving you a heads up, and just being straightforward and honest. It's wow, that fucking sucks. Like,
it does suck.
And it just kind of made me wonder too, like how many other people that I had brought that up to in interviews thought that, but didn't say. And this guy just straight up said it. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
So it's like, do you commend him for his honesty, or are you like?
It was a double-edged sword because
really
it was
is.
like, damn, bro. Like, you really did just say that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. But at the same time, it's like, well,
At least you knew where he stood.
yeah. Like, you know. So, obviously, I didn't get the position. But then, like, a week or two later, he called me back.
I don't think it was a bad thing that you didn't get it. I mean,
No.
really, given his stance on things, I don't really think it was a bad thing.
No,
you didn't get it.
and the benefits that I wasn't going to get, there was no, I mean, the pay was decent, but I would have had to have been there at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
There's ups and downs to everything,
Yeah.
so. But yes, he did call you back like 2 weeks later.
Oh, hey, I lost my phone and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you run dispatch.
5 million excuses, just probably because he hired somebody who didn't show up.
I think he hired somebody that either A, didn't show up, or B, didn't pan out.
Yep.
And was like, well, this other dude was a great candidate. I just didn't hire him because of this one issue. So let me call him back. And it was like, pound sand, dude. I already found another job. And
Right. I'm not doing this.
I'm not playing this game with you.
Yeah.
Like, there's you wait 2 weeks to call me back after you tell me, hey, I'll call you back tomorrow.
Yeah. It was like a whole thing.
It was. I sent multiple
I did not try to
get
get us sidetracked on this. I just wanted to point out that I thought it was weird. Some guy kind of like openly,
pretty much openly just called me out on it. Like, you know what? I'd love to hire you. You got great work history, and I think you've got a lot of great talents and skills, but this makes me hesitant. And it's like, well, I could have not said a damn word to you and then just started blindsiding you with, hey, I can't come in.
We are getting sidetracked.
Left field.
I know it was my fault, but I just thought I would bring it up when we were talking about like discriminating and stuff. Anyways.
But yes, the ADA Act was supposed to help with that.
It was.
And I think it did. It did bring to light that, you know, just because you have a disability doesn't mean that you can't contribute to society or that you can't hold a job or, you know, that people with disabilities are just that, people.
They're people.
They're people just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Just because someone's blind or deaf or in a wheelchair doesn't make them any less human.
Yeah. Well, and the bottom line is everybody has a strength and everybody has a weakness.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think that just because you may be.
And I feel like maybe that was probably the beginning of like trying to bring disabilities to light and, you know, try and help people view people with disabilities differently. That, you know what?
We're just trying to be seen as human.
Yeah.
Basically,
they
like
just
you
want
said.
to be
We're
accepted just like everybody else.
Like, you know, do you know how many places, which we know, obviously, how many places are inaccessible for a wheelchair?
Yeah. It really blows me away that here it is 2022, you know, it's like 32 years later, something like that, 28 years later. I don't know. I'm horrible at math. It's like we still have buildings that you can't get into. We still have areas that are inaccessible. Like we still have.
What's crazy to me is, you know, obviously there's going to be old buildings that are inaccessible because they're old and it's a thing. But like new stuff, there's probably so many new things.
That's what I was going to say. Like the newer buildings that are going up or like the newer parks. Like I feel if you're going to build a new park,
right? If
the city's putting that much money into building a new park, you can have at least 1 or 2 rides, something there at every single new park that you're putting up. That is,
they should all be accessible.
I believe so.
They should all be accessible.
I'm just trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, give something to the disability the disabled community to where it's like, you don't have to drive clear across town.
You're being so generous. It's so weird.
To go to a park. Well, because.
Not that you're not like generous, but.
That's asking a lot because, again, ADA Act went into effect in 1990. We're in 2022.
And we're building parks constantly, and we're building them with wood chips, and we're not putting in swings that we like. What?
Yeah.
Like what is this? Again, there's old parks, 100%, but there are way more newer parks.
But you and I have even spoken that you've mentioned your aunt or cousin in Australia.
Yeah, maybe
says
in
that like
Australia.
the U.S. is so behind when it comes to that stuff. Like it's at like every park or whatever is
Yeah, well, overseas, across the pond.
across the pond, however you want to call it.
Sorry, I'm not trying to
We're not
offend
yeah.
anybody
I'm like, we're really not
that's
trying to offend
listening
anybody.
over there. I'm super sorry. But yes, from my understanding, they're way more
They're
accessible
leaps and bounds
over there.
ahead of the curve as far as helping and being accessible and
Yeah.
whatnot for the disabled community.
Yeah.
Whether that be blindness, deafness, wheelchair,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's crazy.
But there are some places, again, point out Disney World, Disneyland, great.
Yeah, they
as
really
far as
do.
accommodating.
They really do a good job.
They were great. But yeah, no, I still feel that we're behind.
We are. And it's also crazy because the disability community is actually the largest and most diverse minority group. And yet, for
In the
some
US,
reason,
yeah.
we're still completely lacking. And I'm not saying other minority groups of whatever
Whatever group. Whatever
don't
it is.
deserve all the attention or whatever that they may or may not be getting. But it's just crazy. How are
Well,
we the
bugs me.
largest one and yet we're still acting like we don't exist? Or I guess not we. Sorry, I'm not disabled, but like that they're not out there.
We're part of this community just because of our daughter. Like
But it's just different. I'm just stating that it's
I
different.
get that. It's not a direct impact to us.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
it-
because
it
I'm
is,
not
but it
disabled,
isn't.
and yes,
No, but I feel like our government throws away so much money for just stupid things that like you could give back to these different minorities.
yeah.
Whether that be, not just us as
Let's
the
just say
disabled group.
just say different minorities.
yeah. But they just throw it out the window, it feels
Yeah.
like. I'm always hearing about like the national debt and what it is and this, that, and the other and how we're giving money to these people and that. And it's like, what about taking care of us here? Like us Americans.
Hmm.
But, it.
I am not going
We're-
to pretend like I know where all of our money's going because
No, I don't either. But, it definitely doesn't seem like it finds its way to helping out the disabled throughout this country as well as it could be.
Well, some states are better than others.
Yes. some
Again,
states
it
are.
all comes down to where you live because there are some really good states that are good about that.
This is true. The one that we live in, not the best. But there
It is
are others.
not on the top of the list.
No, not even close. But all we can do is still try to be a light and a voice and a beacon to
Agreed.
bring attention and keep advocating for people like Piper
Yeah.
and our community, because I see it as our community. Yes, you and I may not be physically disabled. I mean, I'm a little out there mentally, but
We are part of a community.
but we are part of this community, and I
Yes.
feel very strongly for this community. And
I just know that I have to remember, like, when we talk, that me and you are actually not disabled.
Yes.
We are talking about
we are talking about
raising
the community.
somebody
Yes.
who is, and we actually don't know all the struggles because we aren't. We only know what we encounter. We only know those
Because we will
things.
never know, especially because Piper can't tell us, we will never know her experiences.
Yeah. Which is really hard, but
Which it is very hard. Sometimes I think about it and it just breaks my heart. But, from the outside looking in, we're still a part of this journey with her.
yeah, we're trying to do the things that we can to make the
Yeah.
world better for her and people like
And
her.
people like her.
And,
Exactly.
yeah.
100%.
Agreed. There,
And the thing about people with disabilities is anybody can get into that category at any given time.
yeah, and I don't think people realize that. Like,
and
I don't think it's
you can go out and ride your bike and legitly your chain catch or something and you flip over your handlebars, smack your head, guess what? You're a part of our community now. Like, it's, it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
For as solid and resilient as the human body is, sometimes the physics are just right.
Yeah.
I mean, you get into a car accident, you fall down some stairs. I mean, you can become disabled at any given time.
Yeah.
At work, during something like a hobby, whatever the case may be. It's not limited to, oh, you're just born that way. No.
yeah.
That and I don't think a lot of people understand that.
you're right. I don't think it crosses a lot of people's mind, for one thing.
Well, because it's taken for granted.
Or also because the mentality is, which, we've been there, we're not perfect, is that
it's not going to happen to me.
That won't happen to me. Yeah, that's exactly it. Because, I don't know, we think we're invincible until we're not.
I feel like that's just the human race.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
We just feel like nothing can touch us until suddenly you are brought to your knees, and it's like you get humbled real quick.
Yeah.
Or you don't, whatever the case may be. But
or you don't. I don't know.
But yeah, no, like you can have a freaking brain aneurysm. You can be a fit, healthy 40-year-old, eats healthy, runs a mile every day, does all that stuff, and have a freaking brain aneurysm. Yeah. Why? Because you have absolutely no control.
Yeah, shit happens.
It does. It happens. And next thing you know, you have a brain aneurysm, essentially a stroke, and now you can't operate the left side of your body.
That happens.
It happens.
It happens.
All the time.
All the time.
But you don't hear about it, I feel like. It's not one of those things that's like,
it's probably not going to make the news.
Man has stroke and is now paralyzed on the left side. Like, you don't hear about it because it's not one of those like catastrophic, like 16-year-old kid shoots up mall. That's what you hear about is all the bad crap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if somebody has a brain aneurysm and paralyzed,
that is bad, but I feel like it doesn't make the news because it's not like super tragic.
I gotcha.
It's not clickbait. It's not, you know what I mean? Like,
it's not going to bring all the people to watch the news.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not going to bring in the masses.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, even when I do, I could go to work and have a part.
Everybody. You could name every scenario in the entire world. Like, anything can happen.
Yep.
It is just life. It is way more fragile than we think it is, unfortunately.
Well, and
so
I think the people that like the thrill, like the thrill seekers, like the thrill junkies and stuff like that, the people that go like rock climbing with no gear, like free rock climbing, and skydiving and stuff like that, and have an accident and survive it. And then it like kind of puts into perspective to them, like,
or they keep going.
Or they keep, no, that's what I mean. Like, but it still gives them that insight. Like, you know what? I survived this and I had to go through all this physical therapy and this, that, and the other. Like, it gives them kind of a new look almost. Maybe not all of them, but I've seen some stuff on TV and heard some stories and stuff. And it's like, dude, you're so lucky. You broke your back. Like, you were paralyzed and you worked through it and you managed to walk again. But you essentially, you're a paraplegic. Like, you weren't expected to get that back.
Yeah.
So anybody. Yeah,
100%. It's crazy. There is a disability pride flag.
This I did not know. I found this out yesterday.
Well, you didn't know there was a Pride Month either for disabilities.
Well, exactly.
Oh, okay.
And I just thought that was the coolest thing. But then it makes sense. Like, there's an LGBTQ pride flag, and there's like
several.
the Black Lives Matter flag, and just everything. Yeah. Everything's got a flag now. So I guess I'm not that surprised, but it was really cool to have learned that there is a flag.
There is. It recently just got redone because when
updated.
Updated, redone because, you would just have to Google it. But originally, it had very bright contrasting colors to a black background, and they were in a lightning shape.
Like a lightning bolt from one corner across to the other.
And it was several colors. And they redid it because it could be a seizure trigger, a migraine trigger for...
sensory trigger.
So
they tried to tone it down.
Yeah, so now...
for the community that they were representing.
Yes. So now the color is a little bit more muted, and there are 5 colors that go from the top left to the bottom right. It's
so the black background, from my understanding, from what I read, is supposed to be for the mourning of the loss of life that was taken from able bodies.
Mourning for victims of ableist violence.
Yes.
And abuse.
Yeah.
Yes.
So essentially hate crimes.
Basically.
That's what I got from it.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah. The diagonal band, which is, like I said, they go from the upper left to the bottom right, signifies cutting across the barriers that separate the disabled from society. And then there are 5 colors. And red is for physical disability. Gold is for neurodivergence.
So that would deal with the brain, correct?
Yes. White is for invisible and undiagnosed disabilities.
Gosh, that just breaks my heart. I can't even imagine having
An undiagnosed.
like, and I hate to get off subject, but we've known families at the children's hospital.
Oh, lots of them.
That had that, and it was, my heart would just always go out to them, because it's like, we get a lot of the shoulder shrug and we don't know with Piper, but, you know, I mean, we still have a diagnostics that we can at least stem. Okay, well, we can look at her shunt, we can look at this, we can look at that. These people that are dealing with
when things go wrong,
undiagnosed,
no
and it's
answer.
like, you're just sitting there, no clue, we don't know what to tell you. Like, that just,
you're literally treating symptoms because you can't do anything else. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get off topic.
No, but it's totally true.
I didn't know what the colors meant, so it's white is
invisible and undiagnosed, yes, which would be very hard. Both of those are very hard.
Extremely.
Blue is for psychiatric disabilities.
So would that be like autism, or
I don't know what falls into that. I kind of felt more extreme, but I'm not sure what that falls under.
What do you mean extreme?
Like schizophrenia?
Oh, okay, possibly.
Because I mean that would be,
it's a mental disorder,
right?
Yeah,
that's kind of like where I went. I don't know. I didn't actually look up that other stuff. Just that.
Which makes sense. Psychiatric. It's
And the green is for sensory.
Okay, so maybe that's what autism would fall under. Would probably be sensory.
I have no idea. Honestly,
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Interesting.
Because psychiatric, that would make sense.
Good question.
Because maybe I would fall under that. Because
Well.
But yeah, because Piper would be red, because she's physical, and gold, because she's got gold, right? And she's got neurological, and possibly even green, because she does have issues with sensory overload.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no clue.
I'm very curious now.
It's interesting.
It was a very, very interesting fact to be a parent of a special needs child and not know that there was a Disability Pride Month and or flag. I'm like, Dad of the Year, thanks a lot.
Well, there are lots of states that have celebrated it, but Chicago and Philadelphia are actually the top states that actually do a parade. And
well, and gosh, I wonder what we would have to do to get some traction to do that. Like, if
start making phone calls and raise money, and I mean, you got a whole year, so if you want to start now, that would be the time, probably.
Something.
I mean, literally a year now.
And oh man, I'd almost feel like I'd have to get a hold of the LGBTQ community to see, because they fought for their pride. They fought for their parade and all that and everything. And
well, you'd have to find somebody who actually puts it together, though.
Oh, I know. I know. But I mean, just to find out the avenues that they went down, as far as, fighting to get. Yeah. Because
wouldn't that be so cool?
It really would be.
Set up a whole thing. I am not that person, but it would be awesome.
I couldn't, but I would definitely advocate for it. Because I'm not that person. I can't put that. I'm that's not my skill set.
I know. Some people.
To get that all together, and I will go and put up flyers. And
Aunt B, listen to this.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm talking about.
She's she's that person.
That's you.
I know, but she ain't listening. She doesn't listen.
Ooh,
Ellie, you need to talk to your mom.
Tell that outlaw we're gonna have to have words.
I know Ellie listens.
But yeah, no, I think it would be great. Little venues and tents and stuff with food, and people with ideas on how to modify your wheelchairs, or just stuff because at Pride they've got all kinds of stuff too, all kinds of venues and merchants and stuff like that. You could totally do the exact same thing.
You really could.
I mean
it's really exciting sounding.
I think it sounds like it would be cool.
Agreed.
We need to write. You should write this down. Write this down.
What do you need me to write down?
It's recorded.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, what do you need me to write down? What is happening right now?
I don't know. I just feel like I think that we should try and push for something like that. I mean, I don't know how much traction we'll get, but.
Well, we do know a lot of families with children.
We do. And
that's probably the best place to
we
start.
know some people, and we're a part of some groups.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's really all about who you know.
Or if anybody out there listening, like, knows, like, just shoot me an email or, you
right?
know, like send me a message.
Avenue, like, hey, you guys need to talk to, like, a state senator or something like that. Like, hey, you know, we'd like to set this up.
I know nothing, but I'm willing to learn.
I'm
to learn.
Totally down to help with this.
It'd be super cool.
And advocate that.
Yeah.
And
it'd be awesome.
Just, yeah, I think it would be cool.
Agreed.
So I feel like I've rambled on plenty in this episode.
I mean, I don't think we had much more to say other than that. We just really wanted to, like, put it out there that there was a whole Disability Pride Month, and lots of people don't know. Obviously, Jesse did not know, so he's learned something. And there is a flag, and there's all these things. Oh, I did want to say, again, I don't have all the information because I'm awesome like that. I did see a guy on Instagram, and I thought he was so fascinating because he was talking about accessibility, and he said accessibility is more than adding a ramp to get into a building. And he was in a wheelchair. And he's like, and I saw the ramp and I'm grateful for it. So he's like, thanks, you guys. He was like on a show being interviewed or something. And he's like, but a ramp to get into a building is, you know, just allowing somebody to gain access to a building. Like, it's an entrance. That's not true accessibility, because true accessibility should be the acceptance of everybody for whatever they have or don't have or whoever they are. You know, that's...
Yeah, because just because you get in the building is the rest of the building.
Yeah. Can you get around the building?
Can you get around
Are
the building?
people in the building going to treat you with
Yep.
respect?
Are they going to treat you the same as an able-bodied individual?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's a whole lot more to it than just...
Well, we built a ramp. You can get in the building, get over it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of where it went. Like,
that's exactly where it went.
Okay, well, we've passed an act, so we made ramps for people in wheelchairs to get into buildings. Shut up. Like, we gave you something, shut up and go away.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
There's more to accessibility.
There's like there's a way bigger picture.
Yeah, it's a much bigger picture.
Yeah, that needs to be brought to light.
And I feel like it needs to start with parents at home and teachers at school with acceptance.
Yeah, agreed.
We are all human.
Yep.
We all bleed red.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, yes, we're a little different. That's what makes us individuals, but...
It is. But you can also learn stuff from people who are different than you. Like, that's the beauty of it.
It's true. Because...
people that are different than you can teach you
because everyone...
so much.
Like you said, everyone is good at something. And not everybody is going to be perfect at everything.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
because that's
it's
not
just
life.
it's just not plausible. It's not going to happen.
Right?
But
so
again, it goes back to just be kind.
It really does.
100%.
Really does. And accepting and...
Yeah. And you know what? And that's another thing too, is not all disabilities are visible.
That's hard, yes.
It's a very hard one. My mom's disability being one of them, having fibromyalgia. You don't see it. I mean, sometimes I can, because she bruises so easy now. You look at her funny and it's like you've bruised her entire right arm. Like it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, just looking at her, you don't know. She doesn't have a cane. She, you know, isn't losing her mind. Well, I'm sure some days she probably feels like it.
I'm like, that's debatable some days.
I'm sure some days she feels like it. But, you know, I mean, it's not an outwardly open, visible disability. You know, I mean, Piper's in a wheelchair. You can see that.
Even
a person that is blind that's walking with a cane, you can see that.
Yeah. But we even had an incident in Lagoon that we didn't talk about. Did we talk about it? I don't think so. When we pulled up into the handicap.
Oh, yeah. And the guy was like, what gives him the right to...
Yeah, did we actually talk about that?
I think we did.
No, Max says we didn't.
No.
So when we pulled up to Lagoon, we go to the handicap parking because we have a ramp that comes out the side of our van so Piper can be wheeled out in her wheelchair. Well, when you see me and Jesse through a windshield or getting out of the van, there's nothing about us that looks disabled because we're not. Clearly,
obviously,
we're not disabled. Our daughter is. But a
random stranger who had no idea what was going on, opened his mouth.
Yeah, not to us.
Just was
loud
making
enough
a comment loud enough for us to
in
hear
front of us,
as he
yeah.
was walking by us on
Yes.
pretty much, well, what makes them so special? They get to park up here.
Yeah.
Because we essentially, when you drive into Lagoon, there's a whole different lane that they kind of show, like,
They tell you where to go.
they tell you where
the-
to go, and they direct you, like, okay,
Which you
you
get
know,
to the front.
you-
Handicap parking's in the front.
Handicap parking's in the front. And I wanted to just come unglued.
I told him to shut up.
So
I told Jesse to shut up, not the man.
yes, because I, being who I am,
Yes.
decided to open my mouth loud enough for him to hear, and was like, well, maybe you should just shut your mouth if you don't know what the fuck's going on.
The thing is, we had just got there. I don't need to be kicked out before we get there. And I don't need you to be in a bad mood the whole time.
So, yeah.
So I try to just like,
Alisha just did what she could to diffuse that.
like, he's not worth the time. He's not worth it because he doesn't care. And that's fine. I don't need him to.
Yeah.
I just need him to continue on his merry way and hope that nothing ever happens to him in his life that makes him open his eyes, because
Anyway,
I don't know where we were going before we went on a tangent.
But-
so just be kind, because you don't always know.
because you don't always know.
And it's true.
Because
I have been
Alisha
given-
and I get out of a vehicle and we're not disabled doesn't mean that we're not with someone.
I
who
have
is.
gotten plenty of dirty looks from people who only see me get out before I get Piper out. I look completely fine because I am. And you know what? Me personally, I will park in the very back of a parking lot. I 100% don't care. I don't need to be in the front of the parking lot. I only park there because I need space to get my daughter out of the car.
Well,
And that's where the space is.
yeah, the van accessibility. And you know what? There's been times where there is no handicap parking where we've gone to, and we have to park all the way out in BFE in the back of the parking lot,
Mhm.
so that we don't have to worry about someone parking right up on us next to us,
Mhm.
so that we can extend the ramp.
Yeah. I mean, we've even, backed
We've done
Out
it
of
at
a-
Walmart. We've
backed out of a spot halfway, and I've pulled her out, and then you put the ramp up and park, like
nope.
whatever we have to do. But
We've made it work.
yeah, so that was it. You're right. Be kind, because you don't always know.
Yep.
You're making a judgment before you need to make one. And it's, you know what? And it's one thing to make a judgment, keep it to yourself, and then realize, oh shit, I fucked up. Like,
Oh, I didn't know what was going on.
yeah. But at least you kept it to your damn self.
Yeah.
Because we all make stupid judgments in our head. I'm not going to act like I'm perfect, because I'm not. I still make snap judgments in my head. I still keep them to myself, okay? Because I don't know the whole story. And it's not my
I've
place.
gotten better. Sometimes it still just comes in my head and vomits from my mouth.
Doesn't go into your head.
No, it just spews.
Just spews right out of your mouth.
Sometimes, there's no filter. It just
I know.
just goes.
I know. And this is the thing, like being married to you for so long and you being married to me for so long, is I think I've gotten worse and I've started becoming more like
Me?
that. But at the same time, you've toned down because of me.
Yeah.
If that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the glory part about being married to each other, and we're completely different. We balance each other out.
Yin and yang, baby.
I know. I will forever say that. We just balance each other out. It's fine.
But I think that was pretty much it.
That
All
was
we had
really
to
it, yeah.
cover.
Totally.
Just
I'm
wanted
sorry
to-
we missed the month and we didn't think about it earlier,
Yeah.
But here we are, and we're recording in July, if that matters to anybody.
That's what I was saying. Like we're wrapping up the month. Our
It will
last July episode, which will
in
air.
August. Oops, but it's okay.
We didn't plan it out as well as we could have.
No, but if anybody's been around for any amount of time, I don't plan anything. So,
There you have it.
anyways, thanks for coming back. I hope this one was a little bit more up
Beat,
the
a beat,
alley
and-
of what we normally talk about.
yeah, it was about Piper and about what we're kind of going through and stuff. So.
Yeah. And it was, last week's wasn't
No.
that bad.
No.
Okay. Anyways, goodbye.
We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.